Hello, everyone. I am Nancy Shah, and we are back with another live session at Speaker Circle. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm more than happy to welcome you all. Good evening. How are you all? If you are watching us right now, type your name in the chat box and would surely like to welcome you suitably. If you are listening to me, say hi or type your name in a chat box. I can see one person. Okay, Kinjal Pal is join. Okay, Kajal. Sorry, Kajal Pal is joining us. Hi, Kajal. Thank you for joining. Who else is watching? Well, we are here for something really interesting. Today, we are going to have poetry recitation session, and we love poetries. We have listened to poetries over the period of time from so many poets, be it any language, Hindi or English or any other language as well. I think poetries are a very artistic way of presenting your thoughts. You write something, you curate your ideas, you present it with a sort of a rhyme, and it becomes a poem. A lot of people have a habit of writing their own poems as well. Probably not that sort of a big poet, but yes, we also give it a try sometimes. Today, we are going to have many members at Speaker Circle who will come over here and recite different poetries for you. I hope you'll enjoy the session. So, yes, I can see Shreyans Sahu. Hi, Shreyans. Thank you for joining in. We have Alicia Tambulia. Hi, Alicia. Good evening. We have Purvil. Hi, Purvil. Thank you for joining in. Who else is watching us? Well, you can share the link of this video with your friends and family members and ask them to join in if you feel that they also like poetries. With this, let me introduce myself. I am Nancy Shah. I'm a trainer, public speaker, anchor, voiceover artist, and founder of Speakers Circle. We started this initiative to help people develop their public speaking skills. We conduct our interventions online and now gradually offline if COVID permits. We would like to have offline meetings more, and this is a community or a platform for people where they can come deliver speeches and talks on different topics, help each other improvise, and we all grow together. So that's the purpose of this platform. We have our online meetings through Zoom on every Sunday morning 10:45 to 12:30, and apart from that we go live on our YouTube channel every Thursday where we do different activities around 7:30 p.m. So today it is poetry recitation. Someday we do storytelling, movie reviews, book reviews, and a lot of other things. So you can subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you will be notified when we go live next time. So every Thursday 7:30 you can check out this space. Apart from that, on this YouTube channel you'll find so many video speeches which are given by our members or the visitors at Speakers Circle. So there are n number of topics and n number of speeches out there. I think we have released around 421 videos when I saw it last. So 400 plus videos are there, and there are high chances that if you search a topic, you will find a content or a good speech over there, which is given by members. So whatever speeches our member deliver, they select their topics, they write their draft, we help them prepare, then they come over a meeting, deliver a speech, and after the speech, everybody gives them a feedback, and then we release them here on YouTube for two purposes: just to help them spread a word about themselves and they showcase their skills, at the same time to help people identify and get good speeches very handy and easily, and it becomes a learning material for everyone. So that's what is the purpose of this YouTube channel. You'll find something interesting, something to learn from every week, every Thursday through such live sessions as well. Okay, I can see Shrey Pandey. Hi, Shrey. Thank you for joining in. And all the other nine people who are watching us right now. Okay, with this, let's begin with today's session. Poetries are sort of a game of words, I would say. When you play with the words and you create rhyme out of it, you create a poem, and that is something which is really appealing to the heart. So today we have various speakers who are going to recite different poetries, and I don't want to take any further movement but introduce them. So let me invite our first speaker for the day. Our first speaker for the day is somebody who currently lives in Ahmedabad. She has completed her post graduation, that is masters in child development, from PAU Ludhiana, Punjab. She's currently a freelancer, a self employed. She runs an academy, Roots and Academy. She teaches students for different standards, different languages as well. And she is in the field of academics and education for more than 18 years now, having such a rich experience into language. I'm sure she has something really worth sharing with you all guys today. So she loves doing outdoor activities, reading, and much more things. Let us put our hands together for our first speaker for the day, and that is Nishi Jain. Hello, Nishi. How are you?
I'm good, Nancy. First of all, hello everyone, and thank you, Nancy, for giving us a platform as Speakers Circle. It is something, beautiful. This is my first time of poetry recitation of late, so I'm really looking forward to. Thank you
I'm
so
sure you'll
much.
do good. You're good enough to go for it. So, yes, thank you so much, Rishi, for taking up this
Yeah.
opportunity. So, you are going to recite a poetry, right? So, is it a self
Yes.
written poetry or you
No.
have written it from any poet?
I have picked it up. It is a yeah. This is not mine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
would you like to share the name of the poet?
All right. So this is a very beautiful poem by N. Lee Zhu Feng, who is a Singaporean poet, and the name
Okay.
of the poem is Sip Your Tea, Nice and Slow.
Okay. Sip your
Yeah,
tea, nice and slow.
nice and
That's
slow.
interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go backstage and I'll give you the entire stage. Nishi Jain, over to you.
All
Let's
right.
have your poetry.
Thank you so much. Well, hi everyone. Poetry. Poetry is an expression of the poet's experiences in life. And in many ways, these poems they remind us of the true reality of life. This poem also reminds us of so many things we take for granted or just forget while we are busy in things which actually do not matter in the end. In the words of a German teacher and author, Eckhart Tolle, he says that most humans they are never fully present in the now because unconsciously they believe that the next moment must be more important than this one. But then you miss your whole life, which is never not now. And that is the revelation for some people to realize that your life is only ever now. In today's rush, we think too much, we seek too much, and we want too much, and forget about the joy of just being now. So, my today's poem is, which I'm going to recite, is a tribute to the joy of just being now. So, this is a beautiful poem written by a Singaporean poet, Anne Lee Zhu Feng. Sip your tea nice and slow. No one ever knows when it's time to go. There'll be no time to enjoy the glow. So sip your tea nice and slow. Life is too short, but feels pretty long. There's too much to do, so much going wrong. And most of the time, you struggle to be strong, but it's too late and it's time before it's too late and it's time to go. Sip your tea nice and slow. Some friends stay, others go away. Loved ones are cherished, but not all will stay. Kids will grow up and fly away. There's really no saying how things will go. So, sip your tea nice and slow. In the end, it's really all about understanding love for this world and in the stars above. Appreciate and value who truly cares. Smile and breathe and let your worries go. So, just sip your tea nice and slow. When I am dead, your tears will flow, but I won't know. Cry with me now instead. You will send flowers, but I won't see. Send them now instead. You will say words of praise, but I won't hear. Praise me now instead. You'll forget my faults, but I won't know, forget them now instead. You will miss me then, but I won't feel. Miss me now instead. You'll wish you could have spent more time with me. Spend it now instead. When you hear I'm gone, you'll find your way to my house to pay condolence. But we have not spoken in years. Look for me now. We are nothing without each other. Live beautifully, leave beautifully. So just sip your tea nice and slow. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was so soothing. Thank you, Nishi, for sharing a poem. So when I opened the
My
session, I was
pleasure.
like, "Hello, everybody. Today we are going to do this," and now I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
It had a deep
Yes.
meaning. Of course, sip your tea nice and slow. So many times we are busy doing things and we miss to
Correct.
appreciate small things, connect with people actually. Once they are gone, then if we have regrets or if we still do many things, they'll not be here to see that, or
Correct.
they can't feel it. So
Yes.
let's do it now.
Yes, even
Whatever
if
we
we
got
take
here.
it literally, Nancy, even if we take it literally, so many times what happens, हाथ में चाय का कप होता है और एक कान पे फोन लगा है, एक कान पे हाथ चल रहा है. I mean, we tend to do like this, you know. So such poetry, you know, make us aware कि हाँ, साथ-साथ enjoy भी करते जाओ.
True, true. And
And
I think I'm the worst person at sitting and, having some peaceful time. So we are always running
okay,
here and there, this thing, that
correct.
thing, this goal, that goal. But then it's also important to enjoy the moment rather than running here and there.
Absolutely.
And most
Absolutely.
importantly, be with the people you want to. I think that was
Yes,
the meaning
the
that you
most important. Exactly, exactly. Do it now, whatever you want to. I mean, there is no after that or later or not now. There's not, never not now, as this is what they have said.
I think there's one movie also, Power of Now. I am not able to recall, but that also talks on similar lines. But thank you so much, Nishi, for
All
coming
right.
here. It was so beautiful, soothing, and eye-opening, I would say, a
My
poem that you
pleasure.
have recited. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
So that was Nishi Jain here with us at Speaker Circle, sharing a poem which helps us remind ourselves that we need to live in the moment rather than running after. Of course, we have goals, aspirations, and a lot of things to be done. But then it's also important to just be with people around and sip your tea nice and slow. Even if you're not a tea lover, you can still take a meaning out of it. Okay, I think that was great opening to the poetry recitation session today. Now we have our second speaker. Let's move ahead with that. By this time, we have 11 people watching us right now. Thank you so much, everybody. You can share your thoughts in the chat box. You can appreciate the speaker. So, okay, I can read a few comments. Great words, ma'am. It was indeed true. Thank you, Nishi, for sharing it. Yeah, wonderful poem, and it's really true that we shall not take things for granted and appreciate everything that we have with us. Thank you so much for your feedback. That matters and that motivates us. Do share your thoughts, and if you have any questions or if you want to ask anything, you can type in the chat box. Let's move ahead and let's invite our second speaker for the day. So, our second speaker for the day is somebody who currently lives at Bangalore. He is doing his schooling. He is studying at BVM Global School at the Red Bangalore. He is somebody who loves a lot of things: singing, reading, dancing, photography, and now I think public speaking as well. Let us put our hands together for our young champ, Samyak Roy. Hi, Samyak. You need to unmute yourself.
Ma'am. Hello,
Hello,
ma'am.
how are you?
I'm great, ma'am. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm fine. So, Samyak, you are back with live sessions. Earlier, I think you did storytelling. You did poetry, and this time also you are doing another poetry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, Samyak, what sort of poetry you are going to recite today?
Ma'am, so this is a poem based on racism and the discrimination of women and the scarcity of water. So this is more of a social issue type of poem.
Okay, so you're highlighting social issues that are prevailing in our world and finding out a way through it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Samyak is not only just going to recite a poem, he has created a presentation. So I'll just add that presentation also. And Samyak, I'll go backstage and I'll give you the stage. Over to you.
Sure, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I'm Samyak K. Roy, and I will be reciting the poem Her Head by Joanne Murray. So, these are the four things I will be covering in this session. So, on with the show. Who is Joanne Murray? She is an American poet and playwright, best known for her narrative poems. What are narrative poems, you ask? Narrative poetry is a form of poetry that tells a story or an event and often has the voices of a narrator. Usually, these type of poems don't have flowery language or even a rhyme scheme. We can say that there are free verses with a lot of emotions and sometimes certain dialogues between people too. So now you might ask, yes, this is a narrative poem. Great, but what makes it special? Well, this poem is an extract from a much, much longer poem, Looking for the Parade. The motif is mainly a lone woman who is carrying a bucket of water on her head in the hot, scorching sun over a long distance. She is defying drought, famine, and the cruelty of the political system and much else in order to save some of her people from death. Now, this poem is based in the Republic of South Africa. So, let me brush you up with a little bit of history so that you understand the poem better. In 1948, an all white party called the National Party came to power in South Africa, and they liked racism, so they implemented racist policies. The blacks were given homelands to live, while the whites lived in the so called urbanized southern areas. So the Bantustans or the homelands are the places where the majority of the blacks population was moved so that they would not live in urbanized the southern and the more urbanized parts of South Africa. Okay, so let's begin with the poetry recitation. Near Ikuvukeni in Natal, South Africa, a woman carries water on her head. After a year of drought, one child in three is at the risk of death. She turns and returns from a distant well carrying water on her head. So, the setting of this poem is in a small settlement called Ikuvukeni in the Natal province of South Africa. And there is a woman who has caught the attention of the poet. And what she is doing is that she is just carrying water on her head. And the drought, as it has been mentioned here, a year of drought, it has gone so severe that one child in three is at the risk of death because of the drought. These lines show the extent of suffering due to the drought and the cruelty of the government. But even after all of this, the woman is carrying water on her head from a very distant well to save her loved ones. The pumpkins gone, the tomatoes withered, yet the woman carries water on her head. The cattle kraals are empty, the goats gaunt. No milk now for children, but she is carrying water on her head. So, the first victim of the drought was the plants and vegetation because they need water. And the pumpkins have dried up. The tomatoes have become soft and squishy. They have gone lifeless. Now, the first victim eliminated. The second victim is animal life. The cattle have died because the kraals are empty. And the goats, they have become thin and petite because of the drought and the lack of water. And because there are no goats, there is no milk for the children. So they are malnutritioned. Yet, after losing this much, the woman calmly carries water on her head. The engineers have reversed the river. Those with power can keep their power, but one woman is carrying water on her head. In the homelands, where the dusty crowds watch the empty roads for water trucks, one woman trusts herself with treasure and carries water on her head. So the engineers who work for the government have built big dams to generate hydroelectricity. And the white people who are living upstream live a happy life with electricity and ample water. But life downstream is very difficult. And this is one reason which is causing the drought. Power, the word here, refers to political power and hydroelectricity. So the people are living without electricity. There are no bulbs. Can you imagine that? Can you live without electricity? No. Think about their condition. People wait by the side of the road for water trucks by the government. But the woman knows these trucks will never come. So she carries water on her head. The poet refers to these crowds as dusty to portray the dry condition they are living in. They barely have water to drink, they don't even have water to bathe. Treasure, as you might have noticed, refers to water. The woman wouldn't ask someone else to do her job, and she travels herself through a long distance carrying water on her head. The sun does not dissuade her, nor does the dry earth blow against her, as she carries the water on her head. In a huge and dirty pail with an idle handle resting on a narrow can, this woman is carrying water on her head. The scorching heat, the blowing sand, these are not enough to stop that woman. She is focused on what she wants and works toward it consistently. She ignores all the things that are trying to stop her, preventing her from going to that well and coming back. The pail which she uses is big and dirty, and its handle is unused and idle since the bucket is carried on her head. She places this bucket on a can which acts like a solid base for the bucket. The woman doesn't seem to care about what she carries the water in. She just has to carry the water, and she is doing her duty of carrying water on her head. The woman who girds her with safety pins, this one who carries water on her head, trusts her own head to bring water to her people. What they need now between life and death. She is carrying water on her head. These lines shows the poverty of the woman who wears a chain of safety pins as jewelry around her neck. She doesn't think much about money and ornaments and just lumbers on carrying water on her head. She doesn't depend on others to do her job. She trusts only her head to bring water for her family. She does this with the hope that they will survive for one more day. Their life or their death depended on this woman, and she considers it her primary duty to ensure that her loved ones don't suffer from thirst, don't perish. So she does not protest to do the tiring work of fetching water. So, the scarcity of water and racism is still a common issue, not only in South of Africa but in major countries around the world. Water is one thing that is absolutely necessary for the survival of a human, and it is their right to have it. And it is truly a treasure, and we must save it, or we are in it for apocalypse. So, I would like to end my recitation saying these two things. Save water, and water will save you. A woman is powerful not only because she is scared, she is not scared, but she goes on strongly despite the fear. All in all, this was Her Head by Joanne Murray. Thank you.
Hello, Samyak.
Hello, ma'am.
Wonderful recitation there. So, yes, these days also there are even many villages in India and across the world where getting water supply regularly is still a question. At
Yes,
the
ma'am.
same time, such social issues of women also prevail there. We have seen even at our scenario also sometimes we are facing few challenges. So imagine the lady in a village who is struggling for a water is a really crucial thing. And of course, there are improvements over the period of time, but the challenges are still there. So I can understand what you are saying and what it come from. Rather than relying on anybody else, she is carrying her water on her head to ensure that her family gets enough supply as required. And wonderful presentation, use of ppt, use of background. You have also told us a little more about the region of Africa for which you this poetry has been created, considering the reference. So thank you so much for sharing all these things. Why did you select this poetry?
Ma'am, because I think that this poem is something which everyone must read, because this not only teaches you narrative poetry and the life, but it also teaches you how people are living in South Africa, and it teaches us that we can do better. We should not discriminate and show racism to people like this. Humans are humans. We must treat all of them equally, especially women. And women are strong, surely. And that is why I chose this poem.
Okay, I think your views are really strong. Thank you so much, Samyak, for sharing your thoughts and ideas here with us. It was great having you. So that was Samyak Roy for poetry recitation, and he shared a poetry regarding the usage of water. I think we lost him in between. I'm adding him back. Yes, Samyak. So our conversation was almost done. Thank you so much for sharing the poem and being part of this poetry recitation session.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope you enjoyed.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so that was Samyak Roy here with us at Speaker Circle for your poetry recitation. I can see a lot of comments in the comment section, chat section. Guys, you can please share your views, feedback. If you have anything to suggest or at least appreciate the speaker, we are open for everything and ready to improvise because your feedback would help us get better. The woman's character here shows as simplified and selfless despite of all these hardships, and she is much more stronger with these conditions. Yes, that's true. Thanks, Alicia, for sharing it. Uh, okay. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for being part of the session. We still have few more speakers, so let's move ahead. I hope you are enjoying this poetry session. It happens at Speaker Circle. I think once in a month we are doing poetries now. So let's move ahead. Our third speaker of the day is somebody who currently lives in Ahmedabad. She has completed her post graduation. That she is currently doing her post graduation, I would say, from Masters of Environmental Engineering from Pandit Dindayal Energy University. She's a student and she is interested in a lot of things like dancing, listening songs, learning new things, and she works hard for whatever she wants to achieve. She is a member at Speaker Circle, and today she is going to be here for a poetry recitation. Let's put our hands together for Avisha Kukreja. Hi, Avisha.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for
How are
the lovely
you?
introduction.
You deserve that. Thank you, dear, for being part of the session today. So, I think you are doing the live session for the first time. So, wishing you all the very best for the same. So,
Thank you,
Avisha has
ma'am.
been a member of Speaker Circle and she is here for reciting a poetry. So, Avisha, what is the title of your poetry?
Seeking adulthood.
Okay. That's very unique. Seeking adulthood. And may I know the name of the writer, the poet?
Maisie Stott Morrison.
Okay, I think these guys have researched a lot and come up with some interesting poetries, even if I'm not able to spell the writer's name clearly. But then I'm sure there is something really interesting. So let me take not any further movement and give you the stage, Avisha. Let's begin with your poetry recitation. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone, and very good evening to all. So, what is poetry? Poetry is when an emotion found its thought, and the thought has found words. There's so much to think about when you are becoming an adult, and there's so many great poems about that apprehension and excitement. I'm reciting one of them, Seeking Adulthood by Massey Stott Morrison. I am getting older now, no longer a child, not an adult, but a girl trying to carve a path for herself. I'm learning to make my own choices, molding future with my bare hands, learning how to step out despite of the shaky ground. I no longer need to be held tight in your embrace, but crave independence, one that let me explore my hunger for this world, a world full of hidden meaning. But sometimes I fall, I struggle to take in the world before me, overwhelmed by bigger pictures, the adulthood that lies ahead. And it must be hard for you to accept that I am building life for myself, making mistakes that you cannot cure, choices you never dreamed I would make. I've heard this before from people, early 20s kind of screw with your head a little bit because you are transitioning into an adulthood and actually becoming an adult with responsibilities and paying bill. So, all of a sudden, it's like you are responsible now. The reason for choosing this poem is quite obvious as I'm going through it right now. And you know how it feels now to see small children playing, going to school, enjoying, and having fun. Life was good then. I hope I would have got the privilege to enjoy my childhood for a much longer time. But as it is said, you will never know the importance of present until it becomes a, your past. Thank you.
Oh God, somebody is rocking. Thank you so much, Avisha, for such a beautiful poetry recitation. So I can completely understand and relate with what you say because I think you also said it. No, I'm going through it right now. So you can, of course, connect with this poem. So yes, adulthood, getting older, is something that we always wish since childhood. मुझे बड़ा होना है, बड़ा होना है. I want to take my responsibilities, no? Rather than wearing those shorts, I want to wear long jeans. I want to go to college. I want to have freedom. But then it comes along with a lot of responsibilities to make decisions, to make right choices, जो शायद आपने कभी सोचा भी नहीं है.
Yes, exactly.
But it has its own fun as well as its own challenges. So let's hope that everybody can go through that phase of life very suitably. So yeah, that's what I would say. Thank you so much for being part of the session and joining it
Thank,
here.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I am sending you. Thank you. So that was Avisha Kukreja here with us at Speaker Circle for a poetry recitation. And now we are going to move ahead with our next speaker. Okay, so let's move ahead with our next speaker today for poetry recitation. We still have two more speakers, so stay tuned and we have something interesting to share with you. Our next speaker of the day is somebody who currently lives at Pune. She's someone who has been part of Speaker Circle from quite a some time now. She has completed her Bachelor's of Science from Indore University. She is currently a freelancer, a self employed, who teaches students soft skills and other things. She loves reading, teaching, and cooking. Let us put our hands together for our next speaker for the day, that is Romi Advani. Hi, Romi.
Hi, Nancy. How are you,
How are
dear?
you?
All well, better, much better.
Much better, much better. So
Yeah.
see, she had a throat infection, but somehow still managed to come on a live session and recite a poetry. Thank you so much, Romi, for keeping your commitment and being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, as always, I think this time, are you reciting a self-written poem?
No, not this time. This
Okay.
time, a
So,
poem is by my very dear friend Arun
okay.
Nair, and he is a poet. He is a motivational speaker, and he was the director of Pride Company, which he has retired
Okay.
now. He has taken poetry as a hobby. So
Oh,
it's a
great. So you're
beautiful,
reciting his poem.
yeah, it's a beautiful poem, what we are going through, and for all these youngsters, which are very ambitious, but it's in Hindi. So I'll recite it very slowly. The name of this poem is Waqt,
Waqt.
time. Waqt.
Time, work. So it's
Yes,
about work, it's about time. Great. Thank you
yes.
so much for bringing this on the table. And I will go backstage and give the stage to you. So, Romi Advani, over to you. Let's have your poem.
Thank you. Today I'm going to tell you a poem about Waqt, importance of Waqt. समय क्या होता है, टाइम क्या होता है. ऐसा ना हो कि वक्त चला जाए और हमारी तमन्नाएं आधी रह जाएं. ये पोइट्री उसी के बारे में है. वक्त क्या है? वक्त जिंदगी के सफर का आईना है. वक्त की घड़ियां चलती रहें, तुम चलो न चलो. बचपन से बुढ़ापे का सफर है वक्त. वक्त की तेज रफ्तार में खुद को संभालो. कहीं संभलते संभलते वक्त की रफ्तार ढीली न पड़ जाए. ऐसा ना हो जब तुम अपने आप को संभालो तब वक्त ही ना गुजर जाए. वक्त के गुजरने को समझो. गुजरा हुआ वक्त वापस नहीं आता. वक्त के आने वाली घड़ी का इंतजार ना करो. वक्त के इस पल को जी लो पूरी तरह. खुशी के पल कम होते हैं जिंदगी में. इन खुशियों के पलों में चलो वक्त के साथ. वक्त के उतार चढ़ाव में भूल न जाना निभाना अपने रिश्तों को. टूटे हुए रिश्ते जुड़ते हैं नहीं मुश्किल से. वक्त का सम्मान करोगे तुम, वक्त करेगा सम्मान तुम्हारा भी. वक्त की आंधियां अक्सर डूब जाता है, वक्त की आंधियों में अक्सर डूब जाता है इंसान. संभल के रखना अपने किनारों को ताकि तुम महसूस रहो वक्त के तूफानी लम्हों में. वक्त तो कभी ठहरता नहीं, ना खुशी ना गम, ना अमीरी ना गरीबी. ये तो वक्त की सुइयों जैसे आते जाते हैं. कुदरत ने जो दिए हैं तुझे वक्त के लम्हे, पूरी कर ले अपनी मुरादें. फिर ना कहना वक्त ही ना मिला, वक्त ही ना मिला. This is for all the youngsters. Whatever you feel like doing, whatever your ambitions are, whatever you feel that I should complete, don't wait. Go ahead and do it. Take a difficult decision and go ahead and do it. This is what is the time. Time is never yours. So please do it, whatever you feel like doing it. Go ahead and do it. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. बहुत ही अच्छा पोएम था. इनफैक्ट ये भी आई थिंक निशी ने जो बात कही उससे काफी रिलेट करता है दैट वी हैव सो मेनी थिंग्स इन माइंड बट देन हम उसको पोस्टपोन करते रहते हैं कि बाद में करेंगे, थोड़े टाइम बाद करेंगे, परसों करेंगे, और वो कल परसों कभी आता नहीं है एंड उसपे कोई चीज़ हो नहीं
इसीलिए
पाती है।
अपनी जो भी मुरादें हैं, जो भी अपनी इच्छाएं हैं, जो कुछ आउट ऑफ द वे जाके करना है, कर लो। डोंट वेट फॉर टुमारो कि कल करेंगे, कल कर, आज बहुत काम है, कल से चालू करूंगी। नहीं, आज ही चालू करूंगी। You know, at the age of 60, I started to learn dancing
ओह
and
वाओ!
singing, Bollywood dancing and Bollywood singing. And now I am learning some Italian cooking and sizzlers and how to make fondue. So you should learn what you feel like learning.
This
Don't
makes
wait.
me come to Pune once.
Huh? Kya?
This, with this, I feel that I should come to Pune once to taste it.
Please come. Please come and come to my house.
Thank you. Thank you, Romi. I understand your spirit that age is just a number. If you really
Just
wish to do something, you can surely go ahead and do it. So, thank you so
thank
much
you.
for being
Thank you.
here with us and reciting a beautiful poetry out there.
Wish you all a very happy Lori and a happy New Year, Indian New Year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that was Romi Advani here with us at Speaker Circle for a poetry. I think we are done with all the speakers and we had a great session today. Thanks everybody for joining in. I'm just going through a chat box. Okay. I can see a comment beautifully expressed. Hiral, thank you so much for sharing it. I think Riddhi Panchal. She also said very relevant poetry for adults. Okay, that's about Avisha's poetry, like us who have just come out of their teachings and facing being very, very responsible. Avisha, you are amazing. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you, Riddhi, for sharing your thoughts. And we have Varsh. Thank you so much for being here, being part of the session. I hope you enjoyed. So I think we are done with this. To know more, to get connected with us, you can just fill up a Google form. You'll find the link of the form in the description. We can add you into our visitors WhatsApp group where you will get updates and regarding all of our activities that we do, and you can join in as per your convenience. So take your time and yes, stay safe, stay healthy. I hope that you are safe during this COVID times and keep your family also safe along with you. Take care, and I'll see you next Thursday with another live session like this. Bye.